Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. أما بعد أحبتي في الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أسأل الله كريم رب العرش العظيم أن يتولنا في الدنيا والآخرة. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the Almighty accepts our good and forgives our evil, protects us from kulli su' wa makruh, rectifies our condition and affairs, and blesses us with ikhlas, with the battle of sunnah to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. A question was asked. I frequently have a group of brothers who come to visit our house. And even though my father and I pray in the masjid, these brothers, they come weekly to come to our house and to talk about the prayer. Is this a bid'ah? So from the question, and from the question that was sent later, and we'll give a full answer at another time, the questioner alluded to Jama'ah Tabligh. I could tell it was Jama'ah Tabligh. And in the second question that was sent in an email, it was an explicit reference to Jama'ah Tabligh. So, in general, visiting your brothers and sisters in Islam, advising them to prayer, commanding the good, forbidding the evil, visiting, is all good. This is from Islam. This is from the Sharia. This is from the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. However, the group itself, the sect, or not sect, I would say Jama'ah, this group, Jama'ah Tabligh, is predicated on Biddah. And the asl of this group, from their originator, Muhammad Ilyas, who was a scholar of hadith, but used a lot of fabricated hadith and so forth to tasawwuf and a lot of religious innovation which is inherent in the belief system of the originators of the group and some of their big figureheads. So Jama'at Tabligh, they are a group. And with that being the case, that means you will find people from amongst them who do not share that asl of tasawwuf, the Sufi rituals and the Sufi belief system. Rather, you'll find some from amongst them that have predominantly the aqidah of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah, but perhaps they might differ in the methodology of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. And sometimes it might only be in one issue, just about making khuruj, going out for 30 days or 3 days a month or whatever, and having to go to Pakistan or wherever they go instead of making the Hajj. It's not that they replaced the pilgrimage, but this is such a big part of their system. So in general, this group is a group of bid'ah, meaning it's predicated on bid'ah, and their usul has some religious innovation. They have their 6 foundation principles. And one of the core things that I think when it comes to talking about Jama'at Tabligh we should mention and reference is the fact that they do not give importance to Tawheed al-Ibadah. What is also known as Tawheed al-Uluhiyya, meaning that all worship belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. And one of the evidences for this, aside from going to their books and so forth, as Imam Muqbil bin Hadi al-Wadi'i, Allah yarhamhu, said in his book called Makhraj min al-Fitan, or Makhraj min Fitna, or something similar to this, he mentioned about Jama'at Tabligh, he said, you will find one from amongst them who is, meaning that this is a common pattern, you'll find those from amongst them who've been making khuruj for like 20 years of his life, and they still supplicate to the graves. And this shows that they don't give importance to true Islamic knowledge. And as was mentioned in the second part of the question, that they don't give a lot of importance to Aqidah. They don't want anything that causes controversy. They just want to call you back to the prayer. And this is beautiful, calling back to the prayer, but we do have to call to the other aspects of the deen, like your creed, rectifying your creed. Because if you have a prayer that has that's perfect in prayer, that a person prays perfectly except for ikhlas, except for sincerity to Allah, or and meaning that they supplicate to the dead, or they seek intercession from the dead, or they seek intercession from flowers and rocks and turtles and things like this, well then that is a negation of all the beautiful prayer and all the zakat and all the khuruj and all the other things that you do. So there's bid'ah that is contained within this organization. So I advise you, as you were asking for advice, to not go with them, and also advise your brother. Your father is convinced, so I just say be patient. If you have evidence, strong evidence, you can show where there's mistakes, then you can, in a nice and gentle and respectful way, to your father. And if not, then you just say, Father, I just prefer not to go with them. So this is a part of your commanding the good and forbidding the evil in that respect, and that you don't have the right to reprimand your father. So you can advise and show kindness and gentleness and respect and wisdom. And as far as them coming to your home, you don't have the ability to stop that. If you're living with your father, your parents, and they're coming to your parents' home, then you just don't sit with them. Don't sit with them and read the book of Allah or the Sunnah of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, and don't sit in their study circles. So this is just the general advice I can advise. And also seek Islamic knowledge, and seek it from people of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah that are calling to the book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and the methodology of the Salaf of this Ummah. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.